Alrighty, hey guys. So I mentioned earlier in one of my videos that my wife and I are heading away to a place in South Australia for a road trip in the old red truck. I'm under it at the moment. Front drive shaft slip yoke has well, who knows? It's definitely worn. I've never actually pulled one of these apart, so I'm not sure what's involved, but we're soon going to find out. So just in case we get into some forward driving, this needs to be better than what it is. So I'll undo the unis and we'll get to the bottom of it. Whole guitar shaft. We'll undo these U-bolts. So there's a place locally to me that does drive shafts. I'm not sure what I'll need for this. I'm not sure what's available online, as in spare parts. I'd imagine I can get everything I need. I probably have to get it from the States though, which is a bit of a pain, but it's part and parcel of owning a vintage US truck. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, I've got this out. It's never actually, I've never taken this out of the truck since I've had it. I actually don't use forward drive that often. Even though I do use it here on the farm, it is rare that I put it into forward drive. So there is a dent here that I did some forward driving with some buddies a few months ago. Heard a big bang when we went through a big ditch, and obviously that's what it was. The low-hanging fruit of the front drive shaft on a Highboy. So yeah, I'll check out this slip yoke. I'll give this a good clean up, and then we'll put this on the bench and have a look. A parts washer, that will be next on my list of things to buy. Working on the ground with an undersized sump oil tub isn't ideal. Man, this thing's not been apart in a long time. That's for sure. I'm just using petrol here just to clean up the majority of the muck. do find petrol the best thing to use for breaking down grease and oil. Yeah, you can see there the play. All right, I'll bring you onto the bench and we'll see what we've got. Okay. So I'd imagine that would just thread off and hopefully that just slips out. Honestly, I have no idea, but let's give it a crack. I'm not sure how tight that it's going to be. Pretty tight. There we go. Oh yeah, okay. So essentially it's just a thread, teeth, a spline. I didn't even know that. Hey, there you go. Must be a seal in there. Wow, okay. Yeah, okay, so there you go. It's actually, essentially, it's just a spline. So I'd imagine the wear, or this play, is just a lack of seating on these splines, so it's just a wear on these splines. I'm not sure how. I also wonder if this seal is meant to help this seal, or the lack thereof seal, is meant to help in the and the movement. I mean, there's going to be some sort of clearance on these splines, but how much I don't know. All right, that's something I'll look into. I might post a video on one of the local groups, see what people have to say. Definitely a seal in there, looks like. Well, there's definitely a seal in there, but it's definitely worn. And I'm assuming once that seal comes out, that ring would probably just slip over that spline. Once that seal comes out there, this ring would just slip over. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay, you can see here, well, hopefully you can see here, there's actually a rubber seal. So I can actually see I can see light through that, through the shaft and the rubber. So obviously that's definitely worn, or at least a little bit perished. No doubt it's the original one. And look, you know, unless these Highboys are in forward drive a lot, these wouldn't get used that much. So yeah, that would definitely help with the slip yoke moving. If this seal isn't tight, then yeah, you will get that movement. I mean, they do act a little bit like a bearing. So let's see if we can get that out. See if we can potentially get a new one. There we go. I'll try not to break it in case I can't get one locally. Oh yeah, there we go. And there's a little ring in there with a cut in it, just so we can slip over the spline. And then obviously underneath here, there's a big gap. So that ring takes up that gap in order for that thread, or that I guess nut or locking nut can slip over that. So there's probably no point in me taking that off and getting that off. I don't really need to at this point. The biggest concern is actually this rubber and getting something that's similar, if not the same. Yeah, all right. It'll be good to understand whether these slip yokes actually wear, or I should say whether these splines wear, or whether the slip yoke spline actually wears. Or if it's, you know, it's just a matter of replacing that rubber and putting some grease in there just to take up that slack. That's all it might be. Like I said, I'll post a little video on a Facebook group. Shout out to Bumpside Highboys, and see what they reckon. Okay, so I'm not sure if this is going to work or not. I was chatting to a few of the fellas on Bumpside Highboys on Facebook group, and look, there were a lot of mixed reactions. Some people were saying just to replace the slip yoke and I guess this part, and others were saying, look, you know, they've run it. There's quite sloppy, and you know, the minimal use that they get, it's probably okay. And to be honest, I'm probably going to tend to go with that. I'm not going to be using this. Well, I don't use this in four-wheel drive that often. We are doing a trip that will require probably some four-wheel drive, but I actually have a spare one of these too, a spare tail shaft. So I could even take that with me. But anyway, because I'm in Australia, these are available with the ring and the locking nut or cap, whatever you want to call it. readily available in the States, but here in Australia, yeah, it's just, they're not available because it's a US truck. We don't have anything similar. I went to a few spare parts places and a few driveline places, and anyway, I ended up getting this rubber, really just a ring, to be honest. It doesn't have that little edge in here, but again, for the minimal use I'm going to be using this, I'm hoping this is going to be okay. It's a little bit smaller in diameter. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I'm hoping it will stretch over and then work in with, will, you know, still sit inside here okay. So let me just get some WD-40. And I did say actually in earlier on that, you know, once this goes on with a bit of grease, it might actually take up some slack. I'm not sure how much it will, to be honest, but not a lot, I wouldn't have thought, but I guess a little bit will. Grease will help a tad, but I can't obviously rely on it. So let's give this a crack. Yeah, that's right. Hold on. Yes, that's right. It goes on. That goes on first. Oh, actually, that's good. Look at that. Oh, wow. It's not. It's actually. It actually sits in there pretty good. Yeah. Oh, you know what though? Yeah, it's a little still actually loose on that shaft. That's no good. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Oh, what an idiot. I got the wrong one in there.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Duh. I'm like, gee, that OD's good. I mean, that, I just had a thought, maybe I can actually use both. This one's definitely tighter. Okay, that's tight. That's good. And the OD is not bad. I mean, given that this is going on there, which sits in there nicely, I reckon we might be right. I reckon, you know, look, it's probably to be honest, I don't have many options, and it's probably going to be the best I'm going to get for the short term until I do a decent order on, you know, Rock Auto or wherever else. So look, I'm going to call that good. But if you're watching this and you have access to obviously a new kit, that's all you need to do. Pretty straightforward. I've never taken one of these apart. Simple job. Obviously, you know, I'm sure a lot of you are like, oh man, you know, haven't you done that before? But no, I haven't. So anyone that hasn't, there you go. It's easy, a pretty simple, straightforward exercise. And look, to be honest, I didn't know what a slip yoke comprised of, how it actually worked. I mean, I know how it worked, but I wasn't sure how mechanically it was designed. So it was good to see. I don't have any tub of grease. I'm all out, so I'm using this awkward grease gun for the moment. So yeah, there you go. See if I can get as much of that grease in there as possible. Inside that yoke. Okay, bit of a mess. Okay, really fine thread, so I've got to make sure I get it on there. Got to get it on there nice and straight. I reckon I might be better off starting it with this. No. There we go. It's making it difficult because there's so much grease on it. I should have just used the grease knife. There we go. Cool. It's actually stopped it a little bit, you know. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, a little bit. I reckon if I put some more grease in there, it will actually help. Believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, they're still playing it. But I do think it's helped a little bit compared to what it was. Yeah, it's definitely helped actually. Yeah, okay. It's actually not too bad. Look at that. That's actually helped quite a lot. All right, cool. I'm pretty happy about that. I mean, yeah, look, there's a little bit of play there, but it's not too bad. So I guess just the combination of some grease in there, which I'll put some more in, and the new seal. We might be right. We might be might be good. Yeah, cool. All right, I'm going to call that done. We'll whack the tail shaft in, and we will call that done. The unis don't seem too bad, so I'm not going to worry about changing those. Man, that's tight. Wow, that's tight. But that's probably good. All right. Put a couple of these in so that nothing falls out. Yeah, like I said, we're going on a trip in a couple of months. So just going through the truck, making sure everything is going to be okay. I reckon I've got to do the throw-out bearing or the clutch, or actually both, I should say. And I reckon that'll be next. It is making a little bit of a noise. The throw-out bearing, that is. And I've never actually never dropped the gearbox in this, so I don't know what the clutch is like. It seems alright, but it's funny what you get used to, right? So yeah, I'll drop the box in this in the coming weeks. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to call that done. Look, it's not perfect. There is a little bit of play in there, but it's actually a hell of a lot better than what it was. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. But definitely not a little bit of a rattle, but like I said, pretty good. So good as gold. So if you're wanting to just do a bit of a quick fix on a sloppy slip yoke, I'm going to recommend doing a re-grease and throw a new seal in there. It seemed to work for me. There's still a little bit of slop in there, but it's actually not too bad. You know, for the amount of times we use this truck for driving, or at least even on the farm here, it's going to do us fine. Like I said, we're going on that trip. It will see a little bit of forward driving, but you know, nothing gnarly. So I reckon we'll be fine. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Rock on.